Let's look at the rationale for creating separate authorization scopes. Under an authorization framework, the authorization requirement is based on the level of judgment and discretion generally required to perform a statutory function. This established the regulatory norm against which applicants are assessed. The Road Traffic Act provides a useful example. The approval standards for a driver's license are based on the knowledge and skill generally required to operate a motor vehicle. However, motorcycles and heavy vehicles require different competencies. Separate license scopes and approval standards are therefore created for these vehicle types. The phase framework follows the same approach. The fit and proper requirements establish the general approval standards applicable to a phase role. However, a separate authorization scope may be created when a particular relation, service, or product requires a higher or lower level of judgment than the regulatory norm. The approval standards are then adjusted to reflect the knowledge and skills required for that specific authorization scope. This ensures that participants meet appropriate competency standards without being subjected to requirements that are unnecessarily onerous. At the same time, buyers remain adequately protected through sufficient competency. FSP authorization permits the FSP role to render a financial service as a regular feature of its business. The FSP license records the permission and links an authorization scope to the license. The authorization scope establishes the parameters within which the FSP may operate in the financial services market. These parameters are expressed through three interconnected permission classes corresponding with the phase juristic components. The first is decision permission. It specifies the market or value decisions that the FSP is authorized to control. Decision permission is expressed through the main category recorded on the license. The second is service permission. It specifies the advice class or intermediary service class that the FSP may render within the authorized decision control frame. Service permission is expressed through the service category. The third is product permission. It specifies the product family in relation to which the authorized service class may be rendered. Product permission is expressed through the product category. Let's look at what is a product family. Every financial product belongs to a product family. A product family groups financial products that share a common purpose, characteristics, and underlying concepts. These characteristics may be prescribed by the applicable sectorial law or recognized through the established market practice. The product family to which a financial product belongs is expressed through its product category. For example, motor insurance and household insurance are authorized under the product category short-term insurance personal lines. Product families authorized under the same sectorial law are grouped into a class of business. A class of business, therefore, represents a collection of product families operating within the same legal framework. For example, class of business 1 is short-term insurance personal lines. It includes the product categories short-term insurance personal lines and short-term insurance personal lines A1. The FSP may operate only within the combined decision, service, and product permissions recorded within its authorization scope. Let's look at how the authorization scope works for each regulated officer. The FSP authorization scope establishes the maximum permission classes within which the statutory functions may be performed under the FSP license. Think of the FSP authorization scope as the outer boundary. Every regulated officer derives an individual authorization scope from the FSP scope. This means that no regulated officer may perform a statutory function outside the permission classes authorized for the FSP. Each regulated officer role is therefore assigned an individual authorization scope. This scope reflects the permissions that the particular role requires to perform its functions. Let's begin with the rep scope. The rep scope defines the permission classes within which the rep may render a financial service on behalf of the FSP. The rep scope is expressed in terms of the main category, service category, and product category. Next, let's consider the key individual scope. The key individual scope defines the parameters of accountability within which the key individual must perform the statutory functions assigned to the key individual role. The scope specifies the main categories and classes of business that the key individual is responsible for managing and overseeing. It also identifies the main categories and classes of business for which the compliance function must be established and maintained. The key individual scope is not expressed through the service category. This is because the key individual statutory function relates to the management and oversight of all authorized financial services within the allocated main category and class of business. The function do not relate to specifically to advice or intermediary service. Finally, let's consider the compliance officer scope. The compliance officer function is to monitor and report on compliance with the FACE framework within the authorized decision control frame. The compliance officer scope is therefore expressed only in terms of the main category of authorization. The main category of authorization establishes the decision control frame within which compliance must be monitored. The important principle is that the FSP authorization scope sets the maximum boundary. Each regulated officer then receives an individual authorization scope based on the permission classes required to perform the functions assigned to that role. The rep scope is expressed through the main category, service category, and product category. The key individual scope is expressed through the main category and class of business, but not through the service category. The compliance officer scope is expressed only through the main category of authorization because it establishes the authorization decision control frame. Each authorization scope permits function execution in a specific class of phase relation. Each scope is authorized and assessed independently. A market participant may therefore hold multiple authorization scopes. Think of different driver's licenses. A person may hold separate license for motor vehicle, motorcycle, and heavy vehicle. Each license has its own approval standards and is assessed separately. The FACE framework follows the same approach. A market participant must be authorized separately for every authorization scope in which it operates. For example, a representative who renders both advice and intermediary service in respect of long-term insurance requires a separate authorization scope for each financial service category. The fit and proper requirements are also applied independently to each authorization scope. This means the applicable approval standards must be met for every scope held. Remember, each authorization scope stands on its own.